Next, I would like to review some of the recent comments I've received on my channel. Thank you everyone who had commented on my videos. Even though I haven't really posted recent videos, I would like to continue making this a weekly thing. There's definitely a lot more apps that I've tried over the past year. Alright guys, so I have a lot of recent comments, and the last one that I received, which I haven't replied back to you, the user is HHV G. Thank you for your question. This person asks, I want to communicate with you. Okay, let me like that. Personally, I would rather answer any questions or concerns through my channel. So thank you for that. This next person, Bob Gratin7166. This person said $5 a day and it probably took hours. Let's say get a job, this is useless. That's a fair point. To be honest, no one said that this is a great way to make a living. What I will say is these apps that I mentioned, these are a great way to make side income. So the keyword is side income, not a day job. And in fact, there's way to speed up your surveys, right? There's certain techniques to apply. Just because there's 50 surveys, I don't think it makes sense to complete all 50 surveys. You know, you would have to assess the survey and see per the amount of time that it takes. You know, you have to compare the ratio of time versus the amount of money in return. And I mentioned this in some of my previous videos. I mean, typically I would use my ranking calculator to see if it's worthwhile to complete a survey, you know. But I certainly don't want to complete every surveys, right? Because like you said, there are surveys that probably don't make as much. In fact, you're better off finding like a minimum wage job that pays you more. So let me reply back to you, Bob. Thank you for the question. Thank you. Yep. I would say these are certainly not the smartest ways to make money, but it's certainly some of the easier ways to make money. So thank you, Bob, for your feedback. All right, the next person here, user 96IQ70. This person said, yeah, I like the app a lot, and I always cash out at $5 to get that $1.50 free survey. All right, thank you for that. All right, this next user, Lil Ling Ling 136. How do you link your PayPal to your Tester Up add-on settings? Okay, for Tester Up, I believe by default it uses your email as your PayPal. I mean, that's what I last remember. So the best way to actually link it, if it doesn't show up in your settings, you have to contact them. Because I remember that's what I did. For some reason, they have this logic where they said, by default, they associate your username as your PayPal email. But for one of my account, that wasn't the case. So I had to contact them to let them know, hey, my username is different from my PayPal. So if it doesn't show up in your settings, I'm able to open this up too. I mean, I haven't used Tester Up for a while. Yeah, I don't think I have the app installed on my phone recently. I had to uninstall it. But yeah, Lil Ling Ling, definitely reach out to Tester Up and let them know that your PayPal email is different from your username. Thank you for that question. All right, the next person here, Devon TV 6834. How do you get the survey unlocked? Because mine is unlocked. You have to go back to your screen and scroll and refresh the list. Sometimes the surveys are locked because they have enough candidates who complete the surveys. So it will say it's locked sometime because there's nothing else to do. It's already full and they don't need any more participants to fill out any more surveys. This is what I would say. Before you start any surveys, it's always better for you to refresh your screen. By dragging down your screen down, it will refresh it to make sure that it has the latest surveys. All right, that's a good question. The next person here, Kennedy Collins 2730. I have tried it, but it took me 2 full weeks of playing when I was off work to get $20. Okay, good point. Kenny, this is what I would say. There are certain games that I aim for to collect money. A lot of times I look for the games. A lot of times they have these like extra bonuses week. Those are games I typically look for because you don't have to play the game that long for you to earn your rewards. And I would say the best games to play are typically games that allow auto gameplay. By auto gameplay, I'm referring to like dice rolling games like Monopoly. There are a lot of games that are kind of like a board game where you roll the dice. But rather than you tapping on your iPhone or Android phone to roll the dice, a lot of times these games have like auto roll dice button. So you basically just enable the auto roll and it will automatically continue rolling the dice for you. Now, in certain screens, it may ask you to like select certain buildings to damage your opponents or something, or select certain shields to protect yourself. Those are the time where you would have to be on your phone and just kind of randomly select certain items. But I would say overall, there are games out there that will allow you to kind of auto play it without you being involved with it too much. Sometimes it's possible for you to like let it run while you're at school or even at work doing other stuff, right? Just let it run on its own. Only go back to the screen if it asks you to interact with certain things, like if it has some kind of choices and you have to decide whether or not you want to damage this area or damage that other area, or they might ask you select your rewards kind of stuff. Okay, thank you, Kennedy. That was a good question. The next person, Sia Lifestyle. How do you not get disqualified from the surveys? Okay, that's a good question. Sometimes it's outside of your control. Sometimes these companies are looking for a certain demographics. Maybe it's based on your age, your geographic locations, your current day job, things like that. So sometimes outside of our control. But I will say this, there's a higher chance of you not getting disqualified as long as these are recent surveys. So on your iPhone or Android phone, sometimes these surveys sit there for a while. You have to refresh it by dragging your finger down the screen. When you refresh it, it guarantees that these are recent surveys presented to you. So that way you won't waste your time. Oh, there's another thing too. Sometimes these surveys, they have these trick questions where they purposely ask you to select one answer. So just be careful. There are surveys out there with random questions that are really tricky, and only one answer is correct. It's not based on opinion. It's based on a test to make sure that you're fully awake. So that's another reason why that you could potentially get disqualified for it. And also, don't click on it too fast, because I think when you click on it too fast, some of these surveys may have some sort of, I don't know, JavaScript codes that detect how fast did it took you to respond back to a question. If you answer the question too fast, they may assume that you're a bot, or you're not really paying attention to the questions. So that's another thing I learned, is to slow down, right? Okay, that was probably the most comments that I've received. These are probably videos that I've created sometime last year. Now, if some of you guys wants to know what I do with the money after cashing out, let me know in the comments below, because there are more ways to grow your money faster. So a lot of times these survey apps, screen sharing apps, these are just ways for me to make extra income. And like I said before, these are certainly not great ways to make a living off it. It's certainly a great way to help you earn extra income. These extra income allows me to grow my stock market portfolio faster, and this is what I would recommend to every one of you. Now, if some of you guys are interested in what kind of stocks, setup, or strategy I use to grow your money faster, comment below, because I would definitely love to do a lot of the stock market videos. It's just based on past videos where I mentioned stock related content. It seemed like most people who follow my channel, they don't really care for that kind of stuff. People only care for like the easiest way to make money. It's not necessarily the smartest way, but the easiest ways to make money. That's why I kind of stopped talking about stock market or stock picks. But yeah, definitely let me know in the comments below whether you want me to talk about some of my hot stock picks, or just different ways to make money in the stock market. All right, guys, thank you for your time. I'll talk to you guys next week. Peace.